O Captain, my Captain, our fearful trip is done. The ship has weathered every wrack, the prize we've sought is won. O Captain, my Captain, rise up and hear the bells. Rise up, for you the flag is flung. From fearful trip to victor ship comes in with object one.
It might be the only 1-1 series, but that's mostly because most of the other series haven't played Game 2 yet. Welcome in to the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Bet365. We got AJ, we got E, we got Rudo in what we're calling this one, the studio or the cave? I forget.
Studio. We are calling this the cave. Okay. I'm sorry. I'm not calling this studio.
I'm down to call it the cave. I'm good with that.
I show up in town and I just rewrite some rules. That's it.
Whatever. It is a 1-1 series, and the first question I want to ask, we will get into roster decisions, we'll get into some of the other series around the league, but the first thing I want to ask you guys, who should be happier that this series is 1-1? The Colorado Avalanche or the Dallas Stars?
Oh, easily the Dallas Stars.
Okay.
With no Heiskanen and no Robo, absolutely Dallas getting a 1-1 is a great result for them. The fact that they earned it is a really great result for them.
Yep. I think that's fair. Obviously, Dallas winning the second game to even the series gives them a momentum boost a little bit too. On Colorado's side, I don't think you feel terrible about it by any stretch.
No.
You erase the home ice advantage that Dallas had. And I don't want to give the Avalanche too much credit, but given the caliber of game they put in Game 2, it being as close as it was, I do think you feel like, hey, if we can give a little bit more, we feel good about where this series could go.
Yeah. Yeah. Right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
AJ's looking at me with the eyes. I'm like, God, I'm scared.
Oh, no. I'm adjusting to the light. I'm
the
sorry.
mob boss.
Not
is
you.
like looking at me. I'm scared now. But even to go back to the first question you asked, like, it's more like Dallas has got to be proud of their character got tested. It did. You know what I mean? You're down 1-0. Forget about Robo and Miro. Character got tested, and all of a sudden you're down 1. Good teams don't lose 2 in a row, right? We talk about that all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Then all of a sudden they're in trouble. They're down in the third period. Got to come back. And that's where the character got tested. And they answered the bell. They're shorthanded in whatever you want to call that. And the end of regulation, then an overtime. And then, boom. Next thing you know, character got tested. They responded. So I think on that side of things, they got to be proud of themselves. And I know this is an Avalanche podcast, but you're talking about 2 good teams.
Yeah.
And this is, you're only as good as your last game, right? So therefore, Dallas has got to feel pretty good about themselves. Where Colorado now, you got to be like, okay, but you even keel, right? Not too high, not too low. Unless you pick them in 4, you're wrong, because now it's 1-1. So no one can win in 4. So you were wrong, and somebody was going to win a game and lose a game.
I don't think any of us even picked it.
No, I'm saying.
Did you
like
pick
whoever.
it in 5, maybe?
I said 5.
Okay.
But I'm saying.
Yeah, you picked it in 5. You picked it in 6.
You
I picked it in 7.
The wrong side.
Hey.
All right, sorry, go ahead.
One of us will get the right number of games at least.
Yeah, that's right. Well, one of us is going to have that.
Give me some. Who says we're no good? All right.
That guy last night.
Yeah. In the morning. That girl in the morning. We can't escape it.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah, sorry.
Look, I think this is a weird conversation because I do really think both teams should feel pretty good about where the series is. Now, with the Avs side of things, the Landeskog return seems pretty imminent. at this point. There was probably a decent chance he could have played game 2, or we're all expecting him to play game 3, even if it's not necessarily guaranteed. On Dallas's side, the injury situation is a little bit different. Heiskanen has been skating by himself. He hasn't really practiced with the team yet.
He hasn't had a full practice, like contacts, all that. He hasn't done any of that yet. So,
how long has he been out for?
2 months.
His last game was January 28th.
So 3 months
So
almost.
that's a while.
And then Robertson does not appear to be close at all.
Yeah.
So
I don't think Robertson is going to factor into this series.
No.
I think that's, given the brace he's wearing, seems pretty likely.
Yeah.
But the question now kind of becomes, one, when can Heiskanen get back, if at all, in this series for Dallas? And two, what version of Heiskanen are the Dallas Stars going to get?
Yeah, they'll get a compromised version, but, you know.
Probably still better than Ilya Lyubushkin, yeah.
Well, certainly better than Petrovic in game 1.
Sure.
You know, the kind of rotation that they've got going on at the bottom of their defense
It's
right
rough.
now.
It's rough,
Yeah.
for sure.
So I think he'll be better than those guys, but will he be the difference maker, the impact player that he normally is? Again, I think that's probably asking a lot, but it's the same conversation that we have about Landeskog.
Same thing.
Yeah.
If you think that
fair.
we're talking about prime Landeskog here, you're going to be disappointed.
Yeah.
If you're talking about, well, he's going to be better than Miles Wood was last night.
Sure.
Because I'm picking Miles Wood because that's the most likely roster spot.
It's
that
the
he would
easiest slot in,
into.
slot out.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think that's, you know, is Landy going to be better than Miles Wood? I would say probably.
Yeah.
It'll be different. You know, Landy's never been that fast. The way that the kind of crash test dummy thing that Miles Wood does well. When I went through and rewatched the game this morning, I came away feeling better about Miles Wood's game. But I just think all of it gets thrown in the garbage when you make that play.
Yeah.
You know, like you can like so many different things about his game from last night, but
What's it worth?
it gets thrown
Yeah.
in the garbage when you make multiple mistakes in overtime, like this killer mistakes.
Yep.
So, and that's where, you know, with Landeskog, you're saying he hasn't played an NHL game in 3 years.
It's been a minute.
It's going to be a tough adjustment. The 2 AHL games, great.
They help, but they're
Yeah.
not the same.
It is not the same thing. So,
Well, the adrenaline in the crowd. I mean, it's going to
Yeah.
give you a boost for a bit, but then it takes you somewhere
And then
so
your
much, right?
adrenaline
You know,
crashes, and it's a whole different thing. Yeah.
yeah, absolutely.
It's 3 years. You know?
Yeah.
It's a big difference.
Yeah.
Look, last game is interesting, and I think you'll see it in my review that I'll post later today. But if you take yourself out of it, if you put yourself as a neutral fan, that was a really good hockey game.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Absolute banger of a hockey game for a round 1 series. So I think we are starting to see the picture of a series that is going to be what everyone kind of wants it to be. The way we've been putting it is this should have been a conference final series, probably.
Yeah.
Obviously, the seeding didn't work out that way, but it would be foolish to think either of these teams is about to have an easy road forward in the series. They're going to have to make adjustments. They're going to have to raise their level of play. And I guess my question is, what's the next step for the Avs? Because we can sit here and continue to talk about, hey, the Avs have to simplify and execute better. But what do they actually do to adjust to what Dallas is doing now that you're heading back home?
You mean like how they play?
I don't necessarily mean systemic adjustments, but what are the coaching staff going to be harping on specifically coming into game 3?
I think they need to clean up their puck management in their own zone. That's where I would start. They've extended too many Dallas possessions. I after that, the second thing, and it might be more like a 1A, 1B kind of thing, is they need to simplify how they play offense. They need to get pucks at the net. They need to just grind. They need to muck it up. They need to work hard. They need to get into the greasy areas and stop with this trying to go cross ice all the time. We had Cale Makar last night as a great example early in the game. Has a wide open look. He scored 30 goals.
Yeah.
And he goes over to Arturi Lehkonen for a one-timer. Look, Lecky's great. That's not what he does. It's not who he is.
Correct.
And that's the decision-making that I just think is... has been it's been very lacking, and it's not just Cale, it's not one guy, right?
No,
it's
multitudes. Yeah,
I wrote in my piece today, name one top 6 forward that you felt played a good game, and then I say, you know what, top 6, top 9.
Yeah, I think
like Charlie Coyle was your most inoffensive player,
produced 0 points,
produced 0 points, and sort of accidentally got torched on the Thomas Harley goal.
Yeah.
You know, Harley whiffs on it, and that Coyle was in good position.
Him for
exactly,
that, still.
Exactly. Like was in good position. The whiff took him out of position, and then But that would be where I would start: puck management and simplifying on offense.
Okay.
Same thing was my thing, and I said it last night. I went to bed and I was still mad. And you're talking about adjustments. Like for me. You just said it, like your top 9 didn't play in my book. You're talking about playoff hockey here. I mean, like
if your name isn't Josh Manson, Logan O'Connor, or Parker Kelly, Jack Drury, not Parker Kelly.
Yeah.
Kelly could have done a lot more for you, actually. If you're not those 3 guys, you could have given more.
But that's my point. So you know that, okay, odds are they're going to be better, those guys. So right there, you're going to get a better game out of those guys.
Better for sure.
I mean, I'm going to use Val for a second. I love Val and everything, but it's 25 minutes of nothing burger.
That was,
25 minutes.
That was pretty close to as bad as Val Nichushkin can play.
It's 25 minutes, and I'm talking about one individual. I'm not blaming him. I'm saying you're asking me what can you do better? What adjustments can you do? There's that, and then the adjustment for me, and I said it during the watch along yesterday, is the north south is what's working. East west is not working. Yeah. You got to stop with that. And it's dirtier, it's greasier. They scored all their goals, Dallas, right? Crashing and that going in. What's his name? Dadonov. That creates that tying goal by crashing and being in front and being making the Avs guy be on the wrong body, side of the puck, right? On the wrong side of the puck.
Positional battle.
You have bad body position there because the other guy forced you to be on the wrong side of it. So for me, those are the things there. And then I did this thing of I started writing that down. I couldn't sleep, so it's like, what's one thing I liked? What's one thing I like? What's one thing I didn't like? And if I read my notes here, because again, I am technologically sound. Don't listen to these guys. I'm good. Like it's on my notes here. Okay. What I liked, to be honest with you, on the positive side, I think is after that goal there. After they went down 2-1 in the second period, they punched right back. Right back. I love that. Shift after a goal, you punch right back at your fourth line. You get yourself back in there. And then you go for 6 minutes of penalty. And you're resilient enough to come out of there with no goals. And then you score, that goal by O'Connor / Leckie / hard to say your fourth line because it was kind of a mixed bag of guys who were on the ice. But
really strange McKinnon to Gerard to Lehkonen to O'Connor. And you're like, what is this?
And that should have sealed the deal. 30 seconds to go. And then quickly here on the negative side of things was I didn't like the lack of killer instinct from some of the best players in the world.
Yeah.
You have a power play to finish the game and a power play to start the OT. I did not see the hunger to go up 2-0 in a series, to make a play, to make a big hole in their heart. Like down 2-0. That doesn't mean you've won the series, but I'm saying it's a big hole for the Dallas Stars. So that was my negative thing there.
Yep. There are a couple of things I still want to get into there, but we do have to pay a few bills first. So let's jump over and make sure we're doing that with one of our new sponsors in Monster Jam. Of course, you can experience Monster Jam, but you might also want to check out their 2025 Pit Party. I think a lot of people don't realize how big monster trucks actually are.
Yeah.
Like if you've never seen one in person, the wheels are like twice as tall as you are as a human being. It's crazy how big they are. So you need to go check them out. You can get to that pit party and see the massive trucks up close, meet your favorite drivers, crew, get autographs, take pictures, enjoy other family-friendly activities, and more. Plus, the fun-filled experience is the only place to get an insider look at how these 12,000-pound Monster Jam trucks are built to stand up to the competition. Activities vary by location. The Monster Jam pit party where the fun begins. And of course, you can always go check out their stadium events where you can even judge the trucks on all the tricks, flips, and other crazy nonsense they do when it comes to a Monster Jam event. Make sure you're getting in with Monster Jam, Gravedigger, El Toro Loco, Sparkle Smash, and more only at Monster Jam. As big as it gets, you can get your Monster Jam tickets at the link in the description. Make sure you get to Monster Jam here at Empower Field in Colorado.
Did you say Sparkle Smash?
That is Sparkle Smash, yeah.
Okay. All right. Sick.
Gravedigger's got a granddaughter now or something. I don't know.
Nice.
Go check it out again, April 26th at Empower Field. Link in the description for tickets. And once you've got your Monster Jam tickets, you also, need to take care of your home. I hope there are no Monster Jam trucks driving in your house because your house doesn't exist anymore. But if you have a toy Monster Jam truck driving around, it might have scuffed up your floors. You might need new floors, and that's where Empire Today comes in. You can get $350 off new floors with Empire Today at empiretoday.com/DNVR. Make sure you use that DNVR code to let them know we sent you and get those new floors. They only carry the best products, so the good stuff, not the junky floors. If you're like me and you have pets, you can get pet dander resistant flooring and anti-urine and all that good stuff. If you want hardwood, they've got that. If you want tile, they've got that. Whatever it might be that you need for flooring, Empire Today has you covered with professional installers, and they even have multiple tools for you to check out what it might look like in your space, whether that's online or you can get a free in-home estimate today from Empire Today. Have them come out, have them look at your space. Costs you nothing, and you can see what it looks like. Get those $350 off. Again, empiretoday.com/DNVR, or of course, you can call 1-800-588-2300-EMPIRE. Second period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. And what you were just talking about before the break, I wanted to circle back to because I think that is a large part of the reason why you feel pretty good about how much better can the Avalanche play? A lot.
Yeah.
How much better can Dallas play than game 2? With Miro in the lineup, probably a good bit better.
Yeah.
But
I don't know about a good bit.
Some better.
They were so good last night, especially the second half of that game. They rocked.
They were really good.
Yeah.
And so if you feel like Dallas is maybe maxing out a little bit, you feel like the Avs have that room to grow. Obviously, the onus is on the Avs to do that.
Yeah.
But I think there is a lot of reason for optimism in the series as a whole for Colorado.
Oh, yeah, because the floor was closer than the ceiling for. I had the girl yesterday that wanted me to talk less. She worked for Tiff now.
Oh, yeah.
Clearly.
She
works in the mic department.
Yeah.
Tiff, you're sabotaging it.
No, I think that it's it's fair just to say that we haven't even come close to seeing the best from Cale Makar and really like Colorado's top defensive pairing.
Agree.
They kind of got punched in the face last night, and they didn't make very many like high end plays. They weren't super dangerous offensively, especially in the second half of the game. They kind of went away, and that is a problem. But when you're talking about you're 1-1 in a series and Cale Makar hasn't really been any good through 2 games.
Feel like you still have an ace up your sleeve for sure.
You feel like, hey, there's another level to get to. Oh, they've got Miro that still hasn't gotten to play a game. Well, Cale Makar, fully grown monster, also hasn't played a game. So, you do want to see and know that you're going to get better from him and from Taves, frankly, from Nathan McKinnon.
Yep. I love that you're bringing us because this is what I was going to bring up. Your top 9 has 2 5-on-5 goals in this series.
Yeah.
One of them is a kicked in puck by Arturi Lehkonen, and the other is a garbage time goal by Charlie Coyle. Your top 9 essentially hasn't scored at 5-on-5 in this series.
Yeah.
And Dallas didn't score a single 5-on-5 goal in game 1, but they go out and they score 3. Sure, Colin Blackwell, their depth gets the game winner.
Yeah.
But you look at where the Avs expect their 5-on-5 production to come from, they haven't really gotten it yet in this series.
Yeah, they are lacking in that area. That is,
And that's it's the sneaky thing because
problem.
you brought up Nathan McKinnon, who had a 3.9 in game one.
Yeah.
But only one of those points was at 5-on-5. And then last night, again, his goal is a power play goal.
yeah, and you need power play goals.
They matter.
They
They're not
count.
even in that
You
game.
need
if it's
them.
not for that power play goal.
Absolutely, but you do need your best player.
To be your best player.
I guess best players. I never know. McKinnon, Makar, who's their best player? Whatever.
On any given day, buddy. Yeah.
In this case, both of them need to play better.
Yep.
Neither one of them has really like taken over
Yeah.
a game yet.
But they're judged differently, as they should,
Yes,
because
absolutely.
they are the best. For me, there's no better. Cale McCarr is no better player than Nathan McKinnon. So they are judged differently, and that's not because we're not. Oh my God, the guy's almost led the league in scoring. No, we know that. That's why we're judging him differently.
Yeah.
because he's special, and his ceiling is different than Parker Kelly's ceiling.
It's different than Brock Nelson's ceiling.
It's different than Brock Nelson. It's different than Val Natuschka. I mean, so those guys, in order for you to win, when you're built that way, they got to be on top of their game.
Yeah.
And totally fair point and totally deserved. But when you combine that with, hey, your best players need to be better, and then you're talking about a second line with Nichushkin and Nichushkin and Nelson that both have 0 points in this series, power play or 5-on-5.
Yeah.
You're now talking about a cavity in your offensive play. And we can touch on that first just by itself if you guys want to, but it's bringing us into our next conversation too of what do you consider moving guys, not necessarily bringing guys in, but potentially moving wingers around in this lineup.
Yeah, I think one of my frustrations with the game last night, it was annoying when we watched it live, and then when I rewatched it this morning,
Benzie just would not change the lines.
I was just like sitting there like vibrating with annoyance. I was just, like just change something, man. There are plenty of times where the process has been good, it hasn't scored, and he'll tinker. And you're like, why are you doing this? Last night, he's just smashing against the wall.
Yeah.
It's not getting significantly better. Why are you not changing anything? Why is there no adjustment to your lineup? You're continuing, your entire second line looks awful.
Yep.
Marty Netchis looks awful. Okay, you want to keep Lehkonen with McKinnon so that McKinnon has a fully grown adult? Fine.
You still have that other wing.
Yeah, easy sell. Easy sell. Putting Netchis somewhere else in your lineup, I think, was deserved last night. And we saw, frankly, the Logan O'Connor, Nathan McKinnon combination should have scored. It should have scored twice.
Yeah.
It should have scored twice because LOC made that play with the centering pass that Mac did not finish.
Yeah.
Missed it by this much.
Right. Right. And
You didn't think Logan could make that play. He downgraded him. It's like you didn't have that in your bag, buddy.
I fully feel that is accurate.
100%.
That he was like, oh, yeah. Oh my God. Yeah, exactly.
But Logan was playing above his ceiling yesterday, so maybe you should have expected it.
Well, and the fact that he was playing above his ceiling, he's going, and Netchis was so bad.
Why not ride it a little bit?
Why not maybe give not break up your fourth line, but maybe give LOC like an extra shift here and there.
Yeah.
Let Netchis know this is unacceptable.
Yeah.
This is unacceptable. It's ridiculous.
Well, it sounded like when they touched ground there, they had media availability, but it sounded like he said something about the second line. But that's besides the point. If you're asking me, what do I think I'm going to see tomorrow? Well, I think I'm going to see the Halifax homies. You better wear that shirt tomorrow.
Okay,
So I'm just telling you in advance. This is
I
what
got
I
the
think.
Landy one on the day, so
The Man Rocket. Fair enough. Put it underneath, like my buddy Cameron used the t-shirt.
wear the
guy.
double.
You wear the double. So, and then if one's wrong tomorrow, you just swing it and take it off. But I think you're going to say Joe Druin with Mac.
Okay.
Yep.
That's what I'm thinking. Do you flop? For me, Val or
Nate just
Or-
feels like the easy one to put on
me,
line
it's
too, man.
Nature's and Druin the switch.
Yeah.
Val and like either the two adults, even though I didn't like Val's game, they can both accomplish kind of same type of
Look,
things.
I get if you believe that it's the best way you can win. Sure, I do not see how you can reward Val Nichushkin for the game.
No.
that he just played.
But I would swap
Yeah,
88 and 27.
for sure. That
I think 27 is going to be like, yeah, my buddy, my guy. You know what I mean? And I'm not saying he's been bad. I'm saying he's a better player than he's shown.
I hope that's what he says on the bench.
My buddy.
I hope he's just
guy.
in between shifts. He's just rocking back and forth.
My
buddy, my guy.
But it's weird because if you Justin talked to Druin, was it 2 days ago? And Druin was talking about how Bednar, some sort of accomplishment, career games that he won or whatever. And he said, what's it like playing? He said, he doesn't mess around. He'll make adjustment. He'll switch guys on the fly. And, but yesterday it seemed like it was a little bit slow on the trigger. You know what I mean? So a little bit of opposite what Druin was saying. You know what I mean? So I fully anticipate a little bit of mix and match there. Obviously Gabe, inserting, you're assuming he's going to play tomorrow. Again, we'll still assume it, now. I think they were sticking to the plan yesterday. It was what it was.
Yeah.
They knew the plan. No one else knew the plan until puck was dropped.
Do you think in hindsight that it was a distraction to everybody?
No.
It was a little chaotic.
I'm going to tell you something. This is what I'm going to tell you, that everyone knew by the locker room when the music went down before warm-up, everyone knew that he was playing and not playing. So there was nothing new. You know what I mean? And even like at the team meal, everyone knew. It's like, hey, let's be quiet. Everyone knows, let's be quiet. When it comes to playoffs, why give anything to anyone because it's not benefiting you, right? So I think everyone knew, so it's not a distraction. I think that I'm talking about the players. Everyone knew, whoever was in the lineup knew he was in the lineup, and whoever was out of the lineup knew he was out of the lineup, and that includes Landy. With that said, tomorrow do I insert Malinsky? Yes, I give EJ a break. EJ, there's a reason he came here. He's been great. He's been here, but it's the time now. You got 2 games now. You coming home, take a break. He can still be valuable. Malinsky comes in. He's hungry. We all know how he did when he came back. When he was scratched a couple times, he should be awesome. It brings you a little bit of different look than EJ. So I would use that. Obviously, Gabe. Knock on wood. Not too sure if there's more injuries yesterday. I don't believe so. I mean, unless we missed something, but
no, they seem
so
fine.
I would just kind of go with that, but I would tinker the top 2 lines. It's just not. It has not. The Nelson, it has not worked. I don't care what we can say. It has
no
not
points.
Worked.
No points. If
I mean, at some point,
no points and has not been dangerous.
That's not a threat. They're not a threat. It's not like Dallas Stars fans were like, all right, I'm going to go grab a beer. Nothing's going to happen. You're not nervous. Like, oh God, I'm going to get scored. I can't miss it. Oh, great.
Funny that you brought up needing to go get a beer because we got to pay some bills.
Yes. See the transition? Such a pro.
We are brought to you by Coors Light. So if you need to go pick up a beer, make sure you're choosing chill and getting the Blue Mountain Ice Cold Coors Light. The mountains turn blue on the bottle or the can to let you know it's ice cold and ready to drink. Whether you're stressing in a playoff overtime and need to chill, or you're hanging out, grilling in the backyard on an off day for the Avalanche. Either way, Coors Light is the beer to bring. That's the way to go. It's available in pretty much every liquor store in the country if that's what you were looking for. But you can also get it delivered right to your front door at CoorsLight.com/DNVR thanks to Instacart. You can even come down to the DNVR bar here and get some Coors Light right here while you're watching the game with all of the DNVR fam. Highly recommend. Go get yourself some. I know it's like super duper common for us here in Colorado because it's brewed here. But apparently like it's out there. You can get it on the East Coast, but maybe a little less common. So sometimes you got to go check out your Coors Light. If you haven't had it, give it a try. Brewed right here in Golden, Colorado. Highly recommend. Again,
it turned blue.
Yeah, thanks, buddy. Again, CoorsLight.com/DNVR if you want to be lazy like me and get it delivered right to your front door. Coors Brewing Company, please drink responsibly. Once you've got a good beer, you can also go get yourself hooked up with your brand new sunglasses over at Shady Rays. Shady Rays is an independent sunglasses company given 5 stars by over 300,000 people. Go jump in with them. Go get your new pair of polarized sunglasses for 35% off with code DNVR at shadyrays.com. Hundreds of different designs. You can get different polarization colors. They've got a pair of sunglasses that you're gonna like. Even if you're a blind person like these 2 folks, you can get prescription sunglasses from Shady Rays. So you've got options. I used to be blind. Then I got LASIK. Now I can wear normal sunglasses.
Is this why they call you Rudo?
Yes, this is exactly why.
I knew it.
Go get with Shady Rays today. The coolest part, when you get a pair of sunglasses from them for the first 30 days, you don't like them, you lose them, or you break them, they'll replace them entirely for free. So go check them out, shadyrays.com. Get 35% off your polarized sunglasses with code DNVR. Third period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. You kind of mentioned the defensive side of it, bringing Malinsky in. I do think we all feel like EJ did struggle in that game. But my question is, how do you organize that defense if you're bringing in Malinsky? Are you willing to run the Sam pairing, or does that feel small? Are you willing to put Girard and Manson together, or are you worried about that? Are you worried about what goes with Lindgren? How do you balance that bottom 4D if Malinsky comes in?
I got mine, but I'll give it to you.
No, have at it.
I stick to my original four, right? Sammy G with Manson. Manson's been outstanding. Manson's been the best.
He was great in game two for sure.
He's been
Your
the
best
best in the first 2
defenseman.
games in my book. And then you get Lindgren, that was awesome as well with Sam Malinsky. That's what I do.
I thought Ryan Lindgren, he wasn't a guy that I had like strong feelings on last night. And then when I rewatched it this morning, I was like, whoa.
Oh, he does
really good in his own zone last night.
He's really good. It's just his puck skills aren't the greatest.
I still have problems with the puck
skills,
management.
I even wrote in,
but his
Studs
warrior
and
is
Duds,
awesome.
Like,
I think him and Sammy, lefty righty. So you got me in the lefty righty. So you got three pairs of lefty righties. Him play against anybody. Good. I feel good that way. I love EJ. I don't want the chat. The thing traded for EJ, by the way, just so you know. When I walk by, every time I see him, that's what he says all the time. Got to trade it for me. Absolutely. And I love him. But sometimes you got to know where you're at. He's been awesome since he's been here. He's filled in very good. He does a lot more than we don't see, that we don't see behind cameras or with metrics. He's a big presence. He can still do that. And then you get fresh legs, and maybe that's how you manage it. You know what I mean? Where all of a sudden your back end is more fresh because EJ's getting in a break. Sam comes in. Sam Malinsky, no Girard. Obviously, Sam Girard's in there, but Malinsky's been awesome. Malinsky's been awesome. I mean, right? Has he not been awesome?
Yeah.
Everybody was saying,
he's been great.
oh, is he not in the lineup in the play, right? Because, EJ was great too.
Yeah.
So when you have that problem, it's a great problem to have. I think it's time next game, especially if you're getting Landy back. Why? Because you're getting the emotional boost, but also once the emotional boost is over, meaning like it will be over after.
The adrenaline will start to come down.
On the bench, you know what I mean? I tell you guys all the time, it's so important. Veteran presence in the locker room, and EJ's bringing that on the bench. Gabe will be bringing that. That's a big piece they've missed the last few years. Forget about him on the bench.
Definitely.
Things you say in between shifts, in between periods in the locker. So it's very important. So I think that Gabe's coming back. The other old geezer, I'm going to call him the old geezer because I love him. He can take a break, and then Sam comes in. It's all good.
It's two things for me with EJ. One, he knows the score. He came in and actively said, hey, if they want me to play 5 minutes, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, whatever it is, I'll do whatever for this team. EJ's not going to be offended if he's taken out of the lineup. But two, when you look at the way the Avs have approached this series, the Avs have always defended the blue lines pretty aggressively, but in this series, it's been to the extreme. At both blue lines, they have been crazy aggressive through 2 games. And a part of that conversation, if you're going to play that way, is you need the legs to be able to recover. And EJ's legs just haven't quite been able to keep up at times in this series.
Yeah, and part of the appeal of EJ in this series was the size and the physicality and the PK stuff, and those things haven't gone well.
Mm-hmm.
And so outside of Erik Johnson, the person, which I think is an unimpeachable presence on the bench and in the room.
Huge.
Erik Johnson, the player, hasn't been good enough.
Yep, I think that's fair.
And
Randy knows it's about W's now. I agree.
Yeah,
and that's
well,
what
and
you're saying. You know what I mean? That's
coming into the series, we would have said, hey, if it's Sam Malinsky in game 1, we know we're going to see Erik Johnson at some point.
Yeah.
Yes.
If it's Erik
Same
Johnson
is
in
true
game
the other
1,
way, yeah.
we're going to see Sam Malinsky at some
Exactly.
point. This is the game to do it. It's an overtime game. He's old now. Let him get the extra couple of days of rest because they have 2 days between games 3 and 4.
There you go.
EJ will be nice and fresh for game 4 if there's an issue with Malinsky, and if Malinsky comes out and plays really well, that's
Just leave him in.
also what you're after.
All right, let me shift us back to the forwards a little bit here. We're speaking in hypotheticals here. I want to be clear. But when you're looking at the Avs forward depth now, yes, we're expecting Landeskog to come in, but maybe he comes in for game 3, sits to game 4. Maybe they're managing him a little bit. Has the hierarchy of forwards changed? AJ, I know you rewatched the game and you probably felt better about Miles Wood than you did the first pass.
Yeah.
Does he stick as your 13th forward even if Landy slots back in, or does Jimmy Vesey have a path to getting into a game here?
It's with Miles, it's so tough because the shift that cost him the game is
It's on him. Like,
awful.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like world-class bad. But there's plenty that happens before that that's good and encouraging.
sure.
And I know people are plus minus, and you look at what was his role on some of the other goals against. That's the one that was a huge problem.
Sure.
I think I would be willing to give Jimmy Vesey another look.
Same.
You know that it's different with those guys. Vesey's so smart. He's safe. He's reliable. There's nothing sexy about what Jimmy Vesey does on the ice. With Miles Wood, at least when he skates really fast, you're like, look at him go. It's a lot of fun. And it stresses out opposing defenses.
It does.
They, against a third line or a third pairing, whatever, like all of a sudden Miles Wood is on top of him and you're like, oh. Like he has a little bit of that game breaking, but he's so bad defensively.
Yeah.
And I think that's a big problem.
Well, here's what I'll add, though. You're right. Put that last shift in the freezer, which is hard to do because it's the outcome of the game, right? We all know that. I mean, it's hard to do.
Yeah.
But that he for me, he looked a lot better than, I'm going to say something. You guys know I like him, and I've affectionately named him the Cat, for a reason.
Oh, this is very true, though.
He was a lot better than the Cat. Let's not kid ourselves. I mean,
Yeah.
I understand Jared trusts the Cat more, and the Cat's Kivy. Meow. He trusts the Kivy the Cat for all the reasons,
Name
more than Miles.
one time you noticed Kivy Ronto last night.
Well, you noticed him in the wrong reason.
Yes, when he got absolutely worked on the
That's
game
my
time
point.
goal.
So now if you're
End of list.
okay, so now here's my point. Because I do believe they have a lot of capable players, and it's all about the W's and all about the team. And it was a fair question. Like, again, just to say, like, it's all for the team. Somebody was asking, is EJ not on the bench? Is he going to be mad for Landy's return? No, you're in the locker room. It's all good. It's the same thing. The bench is the bench. Forwards and the D's don't even talk to each other too far down the hall. You know what I mean? Like, and I knew because I was the grocery stick. I'm the only one that could talk to both, right? Because I was separating the forwards from the D's on the bench, right? It's a joke. Now, with that said, I do believe that it's a late game last night. They slept in Dallas for all the reasons, right? So you got hyped up. Everybody's hyped up. Those guys are hyped up too. There's no way you went to bed till like 3 a.m. There's no way. I'm just telling you right now.
Yeah.
There's no way. So now you're getting up still at, decent night of sleep, and then they're taking the bird here. Now you're flying another 2.5 hours, another time zone. I'm just telling you guys, it's hard. It's a lot of work. And the more fresh bodies you can put in there that are adequate. Sam Malinsky's an adequate body. Up front, the Cat, I didn't like his game.
Yeah.
If you don't want to single out Jimmy because you feel that he's giving you more than not Jimmy, Miles, then that's on you. That's a decision as a coaching staff. That's fair. That's fine. But Jimmy Vesey is a capable player.
Yeah.
Very capable player.
Yeah.
Smart, can slot in any one of those places, and probably can give you a little bit more juice than some of the guys had juice. Now with that, the Man Rocket, he slides in there too. So all of a sudden you're getting fresh bodies. Look no further than the Dallas Stars yesterday. Who is the guy that had the least amount of ice time at forward for the Avalanche?
Honestly, I don't know. I don't think I looked at TOI last night.
I just said his name, but Woody. Okay, he's the least amount of time.
Well,
He's
12 minutes I hear.
He's on the wrong side of the play on the game. Who's the guy that had the least amount of ice time for the Dallas Stars?
I'm assuming it's Colin Blackwell.
There you go. The scratch game one.
Yeah.
Fresh legs goes in there. Watch that goal. Watch the speed. goes, doesn't quit, goes. A lot of mistakes on the Avs parts, but he doesn't quit. Get on top of it. I'm just telling you, that's the difference between 12-minute guys. The Kivirantas, the cat, I love him. You guys know that, but I make fun of the 9 lives, whatever. But he was not good. You can't kid yourself. He was not good. He didn't bring anything to the table. So you don't have time to wait. And some guys sometimes are eager to play. And you're asking me because I know the player a lot. Jimmy Vesey would probably give you more than Kibby gave you yesterday.
Yeah. We know NHL coaches are also incredibly risk averse.
Yeah.
You don't know what you're getting with Gabe Landeskog coming back into the lineup after 3 years, right?
True.
So Gabe Landeskog, Charlie Coyle as 2/3 of your line there, but Landeskog is a question mark.
Yep.
Just who he is as an NHL player. It's his first NHL game in 3 years. Like, we don't know. We just don't know what he's going to look like.
For sure.
If you're a risk-averse head coach, you're going to go with the defensive guy, aren't you?
Yeah.
And that's where Kiviranta is going to stay in the lineup and Miles Wood's going to come out because
get it.
Miles Wood is a horrible defensive player.
I get it.
This is where the split gets interesting for me because you're talking about if Landeskog's in, this is your 14th forward. And yeah, realistically in a playoff game, if you're playing your 14th forward, you should be asking that guy just to not lose you the game.
Yeah.
You're not particularly worried about what they're giving you on the other end. However, one of AJ's favorite phrases, safe as death.
Yeah.
Now, given what's ahead of that spot in the lineup, I think you're asking for the production to come from the guys in front of him.
Yeah.
But it's something to consider at very least.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's look, it's not my job on the line with these decisions. So it's easy for us to sit here and say, oh, this guy should be in the lineup, or oh, that guy should be in the lineup.
It's so easy, dude. Jimmy Vesey should be in the lineup. See how easy that was?
Done.
So easy.
Problem solved.
Big Daddy.
Let's get out of here.
Big Daddy.
We do have a couple of more bills to pay here. So let's make sure we get those. This one is us. If you want to support DNVR, you can always head over to the DNVR locker and get yourself some new shirts. But there's an even better way to do that now. There's a link down in the description that you can click on. And when you go through that link, you get the opportunity to play the Ball Knower bonus. You can win a gift card to the DNVR merch store if you make your pick correctly. All you have to do, again, make sure you click the link in the description. That sets you up for it. And then you have to pick one of two things to happen. AJ, where do you think Travis Hunter gets drafted?
Ooh.
4th round.
Ooh. I am going to say Cleveland.
Okay, I don't know what number pick that is. So,
2.
okay. That's one option. You can pick, does Travis Hunter go 1 or 2, or does he go 3?
3.
Okay. If you're correct, you get a $25 ALLCITY merch store gift card.
Sick.
So make sure you're getting in it. Not only are you getting dope DNVR merch, or honestly, you could go get other sites merch if you're lame. That's fine too.
Yeah, if you're lame.
But you can get that $25 gift card if you do pick where Travis Hunter gets drafted correctly. Obviously, trust AJ. I don't know anything about college football. So if you're going to trust one of us on that, go with AJ. For all the ball knowers, make your pick, then place your order. If you pick correctly, you're getting that gift card from us for the same amount as your order, apparently. Yeah. That's like a huge gift card. It's just a minimum of $25. So get in with it. That's the ball knower bonus from DNVR. If you win that, go get more dope shirts. If you don't win it, make sure you have a good way to get down to Ball Arena to watch these Avs games coming up with a Toyota. Toyota, the official vehicle of not just us here at DNVR, but also the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche. Make sure you're jumping in with them. They have a vehicle for everyone. If you want to be the Josh Manson truck driver, you can jump in on that. If you want to be the Marty Natchez nimble sedan. Jump in on that, which, better ice in Colorado. It might work out a little better. We'll see. Or, he might make better decisions in game 3. Either way, Toyota, a great decision. So get down to your local Front Range Toyota dealerships, including AutoNation Toyota, Arapahoe, Centennial, Corbin Toyota, Boulder, Groove Toyota, Littleton, Mountain States Toyota, Denver, Stevenson Toyota, Aurora, and Stevenson Toyota West in Lakewood. Again, Toyota, the official vehicle of the Colorado Avalanche, and us here at DNVR. Toyota, let's go places. Final period of the DNVR Avalanche podcast. There hasn't been a ton of playoff hockey played yet. We have a Battle of Florida that game 1 hasn't even been played yet.
Yeah.
With what little resources
hell?
we have, is this Avs Dallas series the most interesting series of round 1?
So far, absolutely.
Okay.
I mean, what are the other ones that you would think are actually interesting?
I mean, Washington Montreal game 1 was fun.
Yeah,
but it's one game.
Come on. I know. We always, every year we talk about game 1 is where all the weird stuff happens in a series.
You're not wrong. Look at
So-
Edmonton,
Talking about
LA.
LA.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
So-
was sick.
Weird stuff, dude. I cannot, other people might care. I cannot care about that Kings-Oilers series. It's 4 straight years. I don't care. The story is, can the Kings finally do it?
Do the Oilers have a goalie?
Like, wow.
I'm just saying it's the same story.
Yeah, exactly. So much has changed
Yeah.
in 4 years. This is great. I love this. So I'm not into that. That could take a hike. Battle of Florida will be cool. Colorado Dallas is cool. I thought St. Louis Winnipeg was going to be a little more fun. Predictably, the Blues are choking.
They've been close games at least, but yeah.
Just choking.
Yeah.
Islanders, Rangers. Oh no, it's too soon. Sorry, no, that's wrong. I shouldn't.
What, they got a golfing match? Or?
Yeah, I was gonna say.
No, I mean Lou got let go today.
A lot of
Wait,
people
what?
getting let go around the league.
Yeah, like right before the pod.
Oh, see,
That's why I was saying too soon. You know,
I was on the Stars pod, and then I had to go have lunch. I'm so popular.
See why I'm here? I'm here for you, buddy. To help you.
Wow, they got rid of Lou, huh? So they have a chance. Man, is that a GM job that you would actually want to take?
Here, fam, there's literally a super chat about this.
Oh, hey,
$2 from Ryan.
sick,
How happy is AJ about Lou being gone?
happy. Just in that, it'll be interesting.
You know what the worst part is? Because I know both. You would love them.
I bet.
Yeah, you would.
No, he has a beard, so
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
I could be in now. No, that's still not good right now. It's not fresh. I got to be fresher than that.
yeah, he'd want that shaven for sure. I obviously a lot left in round 1 to be making crazy decisions about which ones were the most interesting series.
Well,
but-
they have series have to start. They got to get going.
I
Like,
mean,
that's the
all
thing.
but one
Like,
series has started, but
how many of these are one game in?
yeah, most of them.
Like Carolina, New Jersey. That's not going to be interesting. New
No,
Jersey
that's-
sucks. Like they just
that series
behind
looks
that eight
real
ball.
straightforward.
like it's just not. So far, it's just not interesting.
I'm just because I'm from there, but I like the Montreal thing just because I just want them to. Such a fun atmosphere there when they're winning and the city goes up and bonkers about it, so it's kind of fun. We'll see.
Yeah.
I think it's a interesting storyline that you can apply to the Avs, though. It's still early. They've only played 2 games and they're 1-1.
Yeah.
You're not over amped about it, and you're not panicking about it either. You're not St. Louis, who's down 0-2 already.
Yeah.
You're in and like obviously 3 games from now, one of these teams could be eliminated. Sure.
Right.
But for a playoff series at 1-1 is what you expect. Or certainly for a 2-3 seed matchup, it's what you would expect.
You feel fine.
Yeah.
Like if either one of Colorado or Dallas's fan base is really, really, really up right now,
You're doing yourself a
yeah,
disservice.
probably lying to yourself on some level.
Yeah. If you're really, really down, same thing.
Yeah, you're probably one of the people from last night's watch along chat. But ultimately, like, you're fine at 1-1.
Yep.
You're fine.
Yep.
I went through and I read some of the comments from last night's pod, and people were like, so negative, acting like they're down 2-0 already. And I was like, we ended the pod saying
Mission accomplished.
Yeah,
1-1.
this is it's 1-1 on the road. You feel great right now. You're
If you
good.
catch a line, one line, and you're like, oh, then if you didn't listen to anything, you
Right.
can always interpret.
We were pretty negative in a vacuum. I didn't think we were that negative. I think in every segment I said something about like, well, here's a positive look at this.
Well, I mean, first of all,
but-
you lost. So if you lost, there's
Yeah.
some negative stuff about it. Because if you if you won, you kill them 10-0. It's hard to have negative stuff. But when you're analyzing the game itself, the 60 minutes you just saw, but there will be some negatives. I mean, or else
I guess in last night's case, it was like the 77 minutes we just saw.
yeah. Sorry, forgot about that. Can't count.
Do you guys, let me ask it this way, especially because we're expecting the Landy return. Do the Avs have to come out hair on fire game 3?
Yeah.
Given what the arena atmosphere is going to be?
Yeah, it'll be a letdown if they don't come out going crazy.
Okay.
I want to see 2 goals in the first 6 minutes. I want one of them to obviously be Landy. If it's both, that's cool.
Does he fight Ben at center ice too? First?
Yeah,
Oh,
like-
that's fine.
I want to see that too. I'm not even kidding. At this point, it might be more like Marchment because he's been a bigger problem for Colorado than Ben has been so far. But I'd really like to see him fight Mikko. But I think that's a different,
Give some
loaded,
jujitsu
emotional.
knees to show how strong the knee is.
Yeah, exactly. I just had a bunch of surgery. Like, it would be great, honestly. Like, I would love to see it get wild in Ball Arena. Like,
Me too. Me too.
I want to see Landy go a little ham. I want to see the Avs actually punch back a little bit. I don't love seeing Lee and Bischel in kind of bully
Nathan
If you're talking
McKinnon.
about that.
Nathan McKinnon and the Avs last night just being a pest all night, and the Avs never really responded to it. I would like to send Miles Wood is in your lineup in part to do that.
Yeah.
If there's one thing outside of that last shift that I would want to see from Miles Wood.
Get
That
involved.
that. Get a little more involved in that stuff.
Well, if you're from a different world than Mars, different planet. You come from Mars, and you've never seen hockey, and you watched the game yesterday, and then you're asked, and you're an intelligent person, and you say, okay, it's a 4 out of 7. This is how it works. And who's the team that's down in the series?
Yeah.
They would have picked Dallas because it showed that they were the more desperate team. They didn't want to go 2-0. They were at home. The first 2-3 minutes, watch it. They were so intense. The crowd got into it. That's what you want tomorrow. That's what you're talking about. Not just because of potentially Landy, but you want to get in there. And then good teams don't lose 2 in a row.
Yeah.
Dallas is a good team. They didn't lose 2 in a row. So Avalanche are a good team. Don't lose 2 in a row. That means go up, back. You always say that. It's all forgotten.
Yep.
Yeah.
If you win the next one.
And that's what you need to do. And you need to match the emotion and the intensity and all that kind of stuff, because now they're gonna want to regain home ice, right? Dallas, because they're gonna want the split. Right? I of course, but no, dummy, they want 2. No, I know. We always want to win 2. Of course. But the odds are, again, the old question, hey, if you're gonna, ask the team today, are we going to be happy if we go 1-1 from this road trip back to Dallas for game 5? And the answer would be yes. I'm telling you right now, it's yes.
Yeah.
So now be desperate that you don't want to give them the split. You want to win both. And you got to bring your up a little bit. And yesterday, the Dallas Stars was the hardest working team of the 2. And that, for me,
Well,
it's just like,
Certainly
that's
the
not a
second half
good
of the game, it
trade.
wasn't
That's the
close.
negative trait that I have about the game. But it's the human nature side of things too,
Yeah.
because one was desperate. That's my question about the planet Mars. One was desperate. One was, okay, it's okay. I don't have to win. And that's kind of what it looked like to me.
If you win the first game
Yep.
and you never lose 2 in a row,
All set.
you win the series.
That's what my
you're in
point.
round 2 against the Jets.
That's it. Or the Blues.
My own personal hell.
We do have one more super chat here from RC Cola, who says $2 says Wood or Colton if healthy plays over 92. I don't think that's actually the conversation, right? No. Like if Landy is playing or not is entirely up to Landy. And if Landy's in, Wood may well play over a Kiviranta.
It's
but you're
Kivi
not
and Kelly.
You're not right. You're not equating Landeskog to those guys. If Landy can play, Landy's playing, and you're having a different lineup
He's
conversation.
not attached to Colton. Colton's playing no matter what.
Yeah, if Colton was healthy, he'd be in the lineup for sure. It's not even a conversation. But
Low
yeah,
key really missing that guy because he's that heart rate, competitive,
a
like
guy who can finish for you on your third line too.
yeah, like
at least in theory,
he's just a much leveled up version of Miles Wood, and
more refined for sure. Yeah.
better. just a better player, but a lot of similar traits.
Yep.
So
I think that's fair.
that hurts, but we really can't talk about injuries when they don't have Heiskanen and Robertson.
Yeah, of course. Dallas has gotten the short end of that stick so far. There's no doubt about that. But look, Game 3 decides who's in the driver's seat of this series the same way Game 1 did.
Yeah.
Game 2 was an opportunity that I think we all agree the Avs probably let get away from them. They could have taken a real stranglehold on this series, but yeah, it was an opportunity that Dallas was, well, I don't know about an opportunity, but as the way he put it, a game that Dallas wanted more.
Yep.
They won it. Props to them. Go out and win the next one.
That was yesterday.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. With where this Avs series is at, would you guys change your predictions? And I'm for the record, I'm treating AJ's prediction as Avs in 6 because he made the Avs in 6 prediction after knowledge of the Robo injury.
Yeah. No, I would still say Avs in 6.
Yeah, I'm sticking to mine. Sticking to mine.
I wouldn't. So
Yeah. I still feel good. I honestly feel better about the series today than I did last night. Obviously,
I didn't
it was
even
raw.
feel that bad about it last. Like I felt bad about that game.
Yeah,
the
I
series didn't feel that bad. About
Fair enough. I was pissed.
You just love OT. You just hate it when you lose. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like
The joy when you
yeah,
win
I
it,
know.
you're like, oh. But when you lose it, you're like, sports are actually stupid.
Yeah,
like
yeah.
if you think about it, this is
the
a
worst.
huge waste of time. And why am
What
I
if sports
bothering?
just didn't exist? So
Does anything in life make me more miserable than sports? Like this is the stupidest thing I've ever done. And then tomorrow you wake up and you're like, sports. Where's the schedule? Who's playing tonight?
yeah.
I'm going to go home, post my video, and then sit on the couch and watch hockey games all night. That's what's going to happen. So
I'm going home sleeping. I need to catch up.
look, when I get into the middle of the most boring playoff game and I fall asleep on my couch, all right, that's why.
Oh, you're watching the Wild tonight?
Yeah, I know.
Oh, God. What's tomorrow? 7:30? I mean, Denver
7:30,
time.
Yeah,
Denver time.
7:30 Denver.
Yeah, you guys tell me. I'm all messed up on time zones anymore.
Yeah, it's a little.
Look, there's a reason they play the games. We get to watch them. Hopefully, we get to enjoy them through the rest of this series and hopefully further on in the playoffs. But the Avs have to go get the job done. We are wrapping up for today's show. No overtime today as we are being followed by the Nuggets, who have their own 1-1 series to deal with. So we appreciate all of you coming out, watching the pod with us. We'll be back tomorrow with the whole 9 yards for the first playoff home game for the Avs. This has been the DNVR Avalanche podcast presented by Bet365.
We all silly like the mayor.